Welcome to The Naomi Show. When it comes to relationships, how many times have you asked yourself the question, am I with Mr. Right, or for that matter, Ms. Right? Now, I know I've gone out with a number of guys over the years who, although they did look good on paper, ended up being Mr. Wrong. But I still hung in there months beyond the relationships used by a date. Looking back, I realised that if I'd been honest with myself, there were signs pretty much from the beginning that those relationships weren't going to work out. And I know I'm not alone. A lot of my girlfriends have done exactly the same thing. I mean, it's so easy to stay in a relationship and just settle. Sometimes it's because you want to be in a relationship, any relationship. You might be scared of being lonely, or you just can't bear the thought of going back into the single scene, which is fair enough. But are those good reasons to stay in a relationship that doesn't bring you the happiness you deserve and can have? Well, relationship expert and author Eve Ash says no, and she says there is a way to fast-track working out whether you're with the right one for you or not. Thanks for joining us, Eve. Thank you. Now, the right one for you or not, there are some deal breakers on this one, aren't there? And that's abuse.
Absolutely. If somebody is being abused, they really need to get out of the relationship, and it's really not negotiable.
So if you're questioning a relationship and it is an abusive relationship, end it.
That's right.
End it.
That's right.
But you've come up with 7 key questions to ask yourself to determine whether you're in the right relationship for you. And this is something that would come up if you're questioning a relationship. So the first one, does your partner make you feel good? That seems obvious, doesn't it?
It does, but it's amazing how many people will be sitting there glumly with their partner. You see them when you're driving along at the street and you look right and you look left.
That's so true, isn't it? You see people in cars and you look across and she's out like looking there and he's... But it's so true, isn't it?
I know, and you really want to be in a relationship where you wake up in the morning and you look at the person next to you and you're glad they're there. You know, not wishing they were somewhere else. Yeah. Or, you know, you drive home and you're pleased to see their car there, not, oh... You know, so you really want to be with somebody who also makes you feel good, not makes you end up feeling like all you want to do, or you do is cry, sitting in a restaurant crying with tears coming down. So the waiter brings you, you know, tissues.
Yeah, that's happened to a number of people that I know. I might have been there myself once or twice. Yeah, no, look, some people like us have been through that. Now, the second one you talk about is, do you trust your partner? This can almost be a deal breaker too, can't it, really? Trust is so important.
I mean, if somebody is continually lying to you, really, and you discover it, then you really want to get out of that relationship. But a lot of times we think maybe somebody's being deceptive, perhaps promises start to be broken, the person isn't so reliable, so they really, the trust is lost, you know?
So is your partner your best friend? Now, a lot of people would say, oh, but come on, you're asking too much. You know, you're being too choosy here. You want Mr. Perfect. But you do need to have a best friendship connection, don't you, in some way?
Definitely, because with your best friend you talk about everything. You don't storm out of, you know, places because you're having an argument. You look after each other, you talk to each other, you're open, you're honest, and you want to have that in a relationship as well.
Are you satisfied with your sex life is another one.
Well, some of us would probably want to put that at number 1. But it is very, very important. And we're not talking about the frequency of sex, because some people are happy with whether it's once a week or twice a week,
so you're talking about
it is.
Compatibility. You need to be on the same page on that one. And you're not talking about hanging from the chandeliers, although that might be fun. No.
But if two of you always like to hang from the chandeliers, then you're going to have a satisfying
great relationship.
Fantastic.
Stay with it. Don't leave.
That's right.
The next, are you each other's priority?
Well, this is one that we often fall down on in relationships, because one person is a workaholic, or they're obsessed with the kids, or a sport or something, so they're really not really giving the focus to the other person that they need to.
And you have to remember that your partner can feel left out. I mean, if you're a golf widow, for instance, or a football widow.
So totally, or if the person's travelling all the time. So you really need to plan often to have time out with your partner. Go away for the day, go away for the weekend, have a night a week, but you've got to have that, otherwise the relationship, you're two separate people living under one roof, or not living under one roof.
Yes. Question number 6. Do you often compare your partner to other people?
Well, this is a tricky one because we may compare and feel fantastic and, our partner comes up favourably.
Right.
But if people are continually comparing, I would think they're probably dissatisfied, and especially where they're always looking at somebody who's better, the grass is greener, this
Or
person
they're saying,
does
oh,
this.
look, her husband does this and he does this and he's so nice and he washes up or he picks up something around the house.
So they're
or he's a bonus.
criticising, and so that's not a very good thing.
And finally, do you question your relationship more than once a week? Now, you've said to me that you're being very fair there because you think that that is way too often anyway.
I do. I think in a really good relationship, it doesn't even occur to you to question the relationship. But I know for me and for many people that I see, when they're not very happy in a relationship, they start questioning it. The seed of doubt is there, and they start questioning and questioning and questioning almost on a daily basis. Almost everything that person does, there's a question mark or a sign of maybe this is, a reason to break up. And so it's really important that we look at those signs and then move at it, because that's a stuck phase.
What do you say to people who would say, look, you're just going for Mr. Perfect, or Mrs. Perfect for that matter here?
Well, you may not get 100%. If you're looking for 100%, I think that's going to be highly unlikely. But I think if you can get 80, 85%...
And that's doable, right? You would say that is what we should be aiming for.
We only live once.
Not settling. We only live once. We only live once. You see, the whole idea of these questions is to make it easy to work out whether you're in the right relationship for you, and that's the important element here. You have to be true to yourself, and when you are, that's when you can make the right choices for you.
Your love life, let's talk about it at naomishow.com.